Hey guys, welcome back to my channel. If you guys are new, hi, my name is Madison and I am a new grad labor and delivery nurse. It sounds so crazy to say it. If you are not already, make sure you follow me on my social medias. My Instagram and TikTok are right here, and I am going to try to be a lot more active on there now that I am done studying for the NCLEX. Before we get started, I have such an exciting announcement. You guys, this has been a long time in the making. I have come out with a crew neck and t-shirts. I am so excited. So it's actually one of the ones that I am wearing right now. On the top here we have angel wings, and then right here on the side it says "Be the light in someone's darkest time." And I'm wearing the white one right now. It's like a bluish green font. I am obsessed with it. We have different colors in the crew necks, and then we also have t-shirts, and I am just so excited to finally be sharing this with you guys. I wanted something that I say a lot or that means a lot to me, and this means so much to me, and I'm so excited. So for this first drop, we do have limited stock just to see how many people are interested. So definitely go click the link in the description if you want to buy a crew neck or a t-shirt. And I do have one of my t-shirts here, but I literally just got it out of the wash because I wore it, so it's kind of wrinkly right now. But here I have the pink t-shirt. Again, please don't mind, I literally just got the dryer. So it's pink. I just wore this the other day, and then it has the same thing at the bottom here, and it's so cute. I love it. Guys, I'm so excited. I literally cannot wait to hear what you guys think. I want you guys to let me know if you end up getting a t-shirt or a crew neck, and there are different colors and stuff, and I really just hope you guys like it. I'm so excited to share this with you guys. So yeah, but without further ado, let's go ahead and get started with how I studied for my NCLEX and passed in 75 questions. So I am going to spill all the tea on how I studied and give you a little insight on what to expect the day of your NCLEX and when you go in and stuff, and I'll do that once I'm done discussing what I did to study. I took my NCLEX March 4th, 2022, and I really started studying a month before. I wanted to start studying in January instead of waiting until February, but honestly my motivation was not there after graduating, and I just wanted to take some time off. I'm gonna get my planner here just so I can see, because I planned out all the times that I was studying. So I'm gonna let you guys know when I actually first started studying. I started studying Monday, January 31st. And what I did to study was I first listened to the Mark Klemek lectures. Mark K, I had no idea who he was until I graduated, and a lot of people were talking about him, and I'm like, how did I not know about him prior to this, and why did I not listen to him while in nursing school? Because he really breaks it down in a way that makes sense. It's easy, and he has little ways to remember things, which that's how when I study, I make up the silliest, crazy things that make sense in my mind that will help me remember in the long run. So his lectures are awesome. You can find them on YouTube, and I mentioned in my last video where I was talking about how I studied in a vlog, there was a YouTuber named Darian, I believe that's how you say her name. I'll put her video down below, but she shared how she studied for her NCLEX, and then she also put a link to a Google Doc with the Mark Klemek notes, and I used those. And so I listened to all the Mark Klemek lectures. There's about, I believe, 14 of them. What I did was I did 2 lectures a day, so there's 14 lectures. So what I would do is Monday, lectures 1 and 2, Tuesday, lectures 3 and 4, and so on and so forth. So what I did was I had a binder just like this, and actually I used my pink one, but I'm using my pink one for work now. But I just put everything that I used in here. So this is what my little NCLEX study binder looks like. Alright guys, so I recommend keeping everything in a binder, so I'm just going to show you mine. I also had a little list of things I wanted to review before the NCLEX, which that didn't end up happening. But this is stuff from my ATI when I had class that I wanted to review, but I didn't. Those are just hanging out in here. So these are some loose leaf pages that some additional notes or stuff I just wanted to break down and see and my own writing and stuff like that. And then here's some more things like that. I just like to like see visually like the way I like to do it. Drew some pictures, stuff like that. We have Cushing Man, and again, this is all from Mark Clemek's lecture. And then I just have extra loose leaf here. So I'm going to flip through these notes here so I can show you guys kind of what mine look like. Lots of color. Then I would add some sticky notes if I needed to. Lab values, lots of highlighter there. And then these are just some notes like from nursing school, like a chart I had and EKG stuff, but I didn't end up even looking at those. Basically, I printed out all of the NCLEX notes, which I'll link them down below. They're linked in Darian's video, and I put them in little plastic sheets just so they would stay nice. So that helped me a lot. They literally have like the notes, like word for word what he says. They have like made little charts and stuff. And so what I would do is I would go through, listen to the lecture, try to limit my distractions. Sometimes I would have to pause the video and just like take a break for a minute, but he kind of keeps you engaged, which is nice. And he seems like he's like has an awesome personality. Like it's not just like boring. And so once I finished the Mark Clemek lectures, I got UWorld. And so I got the UWorld option where it was the 30-day testing bank, so you have access to the UWorld for 30 days, so 30-day access. And I also got where it had one NCLEX practice exam, and I believe it was a little bit more money because you had the practice exam, but it was so worth it. I loved UWorld. I was freaking out when I started it because I'm like, I am doing so bad. Like I was not doing good, and even almost to the end I was getting better, but I was still in like the 70%, and I'm like, oh my gosh, and I was freaking out. And I was talking to some of my friends who are already nurses and who I know used UWorld, and they're like, yeah, like most people say that they've been having trouble with UWorld or they're not doing as good as they wanted. So it made me feel a little better, but I was like, oh, like I'm not doing it that great. There was a lot of questions and stuff I never heard of, but then I got better as time went on. So I was doing that for probably like 3 weeks, and I finished every single question the day before I took my boards. And I would also go through the ones I got incorrect, and I would answer those questions and stuff like that. And they have like great rationales, and like you can click and you can see like pictures of like certain physiological like disorders, and it really helped me personally. That is what I used. Mark K and UWorld, amazing. And the thing about UWorld that I really liked was it's set up just like the NCLEX. So like for example, like it's like they have like blue borders, and that's exactly how the NCLEX is set up. Like so you're not going in knowing what it looks like. You're kind of like prepared, and you're like, okay, like this is what it looks like. And it gave me more of like a sense of like ease. And I was like, okay, like just pretend you're doing your UWorld questions, like you got this. And also I thought the questions were trickier than the NCLEX on UWorld, and I feel like that like prepared me. I would say some of them were harder and then some of them weren't. It just depends obviously on the questions that you get. But I like how they were asking you, they ask you like various things, like obviously you're working on the floor with a nurse and an LPN and a UAP. You're the nurse, and what are you going to delegate to the UAP or blah, blah, blah. Okay, so like they had those on UWorld. So they had priority questions. They had what order should you question to the provider, and give you like, you know, them different pictures of positioning or certain disease processes or place an order and stuff. And math, like They really do cover a variety of different things, and it made me feel a lot better going into the NCLEX. So I took my exam on a Friday, last Friday, and I took the NCLEX like practice exam that I had bought on Wednesday, and I was gonna do it the day before, and then I was like, no, let's do it Wednesday just in case. And it like predicts how well you're gonna do on the NCLEX, and I was like, okay, like yeah, I got this, like I'm almost done with all the questions, this is gonna be great. So I took it and I got borderline, and it was like based on like your results, we can't like really tell. And I'm like, what? Oh my gosh, like it made me almost freak out like too much. I was like, oh my gosh, like, and I talked to my one friend and she was like, oh, I got highly likely, and I'm like, girl, oh my gosh. But I kind of like shook that off, and I was like, I'm not gonna let this like get to me, blah blah blah. So what I can say is truly the things that helped me was UWorld and Mark Clemec. And I've heard a lot of other great things, but this is personally what I used and what helped me. Also, I kept all my ATI books, I've kept all my textbooks, and I didn't even open those at all. And I did have some like free access because ATI came to like our school for like a 20-hour NCLEX review a couple months ago when I was in nursing school. So I had access to a couple free like tests and quizzes, and I did those like I think for like 2 days. And I was like, okay, like I felt like I was doing pretty good on those, so I was like, let me go back to UWorld, and I just focused mostly on UWorld. But if you have stuff like that, like Kaplan, ATI, I don't know if HESI does that too, definitely practice. If you have already like questions and stuff, I would definitely practice that. I'm gonna go into the like night before day of the exam. So like I said, the day before the exam, I finished all my UWorld questions, and then I couldn't fall asleep at night, so I was just going through these Mark Clemec notes. Like I had them on my phone, so I was just reading through them, and I think I got through like 8 out of the 14. Is there 14 lectures or is there only 12? I don't know. There may only be 12, I'm not sure. But so I got through most of them, and I was like, oh, I wish I like reread these earlier, because I had done the Mark Clemec lectures like 3 weeks prior or a month prior, and I was like, it's not that fresh in my head and whatnot, but it was okay. And so the morning of, I woke up. I have a whole vlog on it, which I can like put down below if you're interested. But when I got there, we had to wear masks, and I made sure I was like comfy and stuff. Obviously you need like your ID, and they did like, they scan your hand, like your palm and everything like that. And I mentioned this in my video too, they made me take off my necklace. So I had this one on, I had this on, and they were like, oh yeah, like if anyone has necklaces on, you need to take them off. And I had like post earrings, just like post ones like these, like right here. So like I didn't have anything here, I didn't have hair ties on. And so they're like, yeah, take your necklaces off. They made us roll up our sleeves, they checked like our wrists, rolled up our ankles, we had to pull out our pockets. They took my glasses, and she had to like look at them and stuff like that to make sure, I don't know, like it wasn't like some high-tech glasses. So she looked at those and everything like that. And I wanted to say that there were the workers there were so nice and like had such like a calming presence, and were so kind, and I feel like that made such a difference, because I've heard horror stories, people go in and like it just helped that they were nice, and I don't even know if they realize how much that truly helped. But yeah, so my exam was at 8, and we got there early, and we were like the first batch of the day. So like they sat me, and they're like, okay, they took my picture, and she searched me, whatever, and I went in, and she was like, okay, like you can start. And I think it was like 7:45. I was like, okay. And I remember like I was just like, okay, like this is it, like this is like what you've been working for. And I just took like 3 deep breaths, and I really like took a minute. I'm like, okay, like I got this, like I can do this. And they give you like a little like a laminated like piece of paper with like a dry erase marker, and if you like fill it up, you can like raise your hand and they'll give you a new one. But I did not use mine at all, which I was really surprised about, because I'm like a writer, but I didn't use it at all. And then also they do have like, they had like headphones that you could put on, but they had like little covers over like the ear pads, like surgical like scrub caps or shoe caps. So it was kind of like sliding off my head, because you can't like bring your own, obviously. but it did the job. My ears hurt a little bit, but it did help like kind of block out everything. And we were kind of like all like at desks, and they had like big dividers like between them, and then in the center of the room was the lady watching you and like a windowed thing, and there was like cameras above each person. And I just want you guys to know that you can do it. I promise you that you can do it. Don't get so in your head about, oh my gosh, like 75 questions, because I never really thought about it like that. I'm like, oh, like, okay, like 75, like great. Like, I mean, I don't want to be there for the full 5 hours and have X amount of questions, because obviously like you get more tired or not focused. But I was kind of like, when I was on 75, I was like, okay, when you click the next button, because you can kind of see what question number you're on, I'm like, if I have to do more, like that's totally okay. Like I am going to just be prepared for that, and that's okay. Like I was kind of like talking myself like down, like not to be anxious, like it's okay. And then like I clicked it, and it like it's like you've like completed your exam, like, or a survey, whatever. I was like, oh gosh. And that's what's so nerve-wracking, because if you do finish in 75, you're like, okay, I did really good or I did really bad. And when you leave, I haven't talked to any person yet who's been like, oh my gosh, like, yeah, like I passed for sure. Because you don't, I feel like it's just like, okay, like, you don't know, and it's hard waiting. But I did take it at 8 a.m. Friday, and I found out at 6:30 the next morning through an email. I didn't like pay for anything for early access or anything like that. They just sent it. I really felt prepared going into it, and I think it was a mixture of Mark Lemec, UWorld, as well as obviously my nursing program. It was pretty brutal, and we have a really high percentage of people who pass the NCLEX for the first time from my school. And yeah, I am just so grateful that I was able to pass the first time. And if you don't pass the first time, it is not the end of the world. Like my friend brought up a really good point to me. She's like, Maddie, like if we fail, it's not like nursing school where you have to like retake an entire class or you're out of the program. You can just retake the exam. Like it's okay. And I know it's like such a pain, because I think it's like $200, which is a lot, but you are going to pass. And I think a lot of times it's not like, oh, was I prepared? What, am I smart enough? You are prepared because you worked hard, and you are smart enough because you made it through nursing school. But I think a lot of time our anxiety gets in the way, our fear, our overwhelming like nervousness gets in the way. And I feel like I really just tried to calm myself down and was trying not to get in my head about it at all. Like I was really trying, and I think I did a good job at that, because there would have been times, like if I had this a couple years ago, where I would have been like a complete mess, and I truly do think I would have failed, not because I didn't prepare or wasn't smart, but because of my anxiety and just that fear of failing. And if you fail, it's okay. Like get back up and take it again. There are so many amazing nurses who had to retake their NCLEX, and that's okay. It does not make you any less of a nurse. Also, one thing I forgot to say, which I truly believe is the reason that I passed, is I picked my answer and I moved on. I did not sit and I did not question. Pick your answer, move on. And in the NCLEX, you can't go back, which I think is a good thing, because I would always like change my answers. And something cool about UWorld is it shows you like how many you change from incorrect to incorrect, or correct to incorrect, or incorrect to correct. Like it breaks it down for you, which is really nice. And go with your gut, like what you think, and move on. That's literally what I did for every single one. Moved on. If I was stuck between two, like I just really tried to use like some critical thinking. And again, the NCLEX is like best case scenario, perfect world of nursing. Like you have staff, you have all the resources, which we know that's not always the case. But don't think like, okay, well, this is the order and it could have been this, and like, no, it's telling you what it is, and just go on that. Don't make up stuff in your head, because that's what I would always do in nursing school. So go with your gut, click it, move on. Like just keep pushing through, and I think that's what really helped me. I love you guys so much. I am so grateful for every single one of you. I am in the process of responding to all of my comments on my last video, because I really want to respond to every single person. You guys mean the absolute world to me. Don't forget to click the link below if you want to get a crew neck or a t-shirt. I'm so excited about this, and it just means so much to me that I can share this with you guys finally. And I love you guys, and I'll see you guys in my next video.